Check. 1, 2, 3.
The D.
Bree.
This is the D. Bree.
Your guide to Detroit.
Your guide to Detroit's
arts and entertainment scene.
This is the D.
Brief.
Hello and welcome to the podcast. It's for and about Detroit artists and entertainers. I'm Seth Ressler.
And I'm Becky Scarcello.
On today's show, we're going to talk about the art of podcasting. Planet Ant over there in Hamtramck is doing a lot of podcasts these days. We're going to check some out. And joining us for all of that is Carlos Parisi. He's a food entrepreneur involved in a number of different projects. I guess the one we should talk about today is the one that we haven't really talked about much this week, which is Ant Knees. Carlos, welcome to the show. Let's talk about what this is, because you're a partner in this.
Yeah. Ant Knees, we do chip salsa and guacamole. We've been starting to do different things in the chips and salsa world way back in 2009 with just a dry mix pack that you mix in with tomatoes to make your own salsa. And we started being the most active and insane people at Eastern Market when they first let us sell there on a Saturday, and come here 11 years later, and I'm still doing Eastern Market every Saturday.
Yeah, and it's a favorite among our tour guests on Feet on the Street tours because of that, because you're animated. You always have a smile, and it's like, hey, so welcoming. Plus, it tastes fantastic.
For sure.
So you brought us some.
Yeah, of course.
Can we dig in?
I'd like to hope so.
Yeah.
So the tortilla chips that we make only have 4 ingredients. They're made with sea salt, oil, a little bit of lime, and fresh, locally grown, GMO-free corn. That's right. I had a knife on me. No big deal.
All right. Slicing it open.
Security's lax here at the podcast.
And then
paper bag.
The guacamole is loosely based off of my mom's recipe, who I think has the best guacamole in the world. Shout out, Mom. And then it's only made, I make it every week for Eastern Market only. So the chips and salsa you can buy all over the state. Whole Foods, Westbourne Market, any local shops all throughout
Honeybee Market.
Yeah, Honeybee for sure. But the guacamole you can only buy from me on a Saturday at Eastern Market.
And you make it fresh every week.
Every single week.
All right, so we were talking about this earlier this week, the ASMR, and really making this sound good for a podcast. So let's see if we can do it. So,
ooh, that sounds like chips. He's reaching in.
Sorry, I touched a bunch.
Oh, yeah. That's why you had to take a handful.
Grab a few for myself here. The chips by themselves are really good. Try that out.
I could eat this whole bag.
Mm-hmm.
Now I find myself totally exaggerating my eating. Just trying. I'm getting crumbs everywhere.
Oh, this is how I eat.
Dig into the guacamole now. You got to get a big scoop, though.
Oh, yeah. Because you don't want to double dip, because we're sharing. So, big.
All natural, fresh ingredients, no preservatives. Real ingredients that we get from the market, we make in Eastern Market, and we've been selling there for the last 11 years.
That's amazing.
That's good guacamole.
Thank you
It's
very
perfect.
much.
Well, I mean, I've had it, but I'm, reinvigorated with it right now. And I love the tanginess of the lime, and I love the texture. Super smooth.
Totally.
So good.
See, now you're getting it. You know how to describe food.
So what are the ingredients in here one more time?
All of the ingredients, I can't tell you.
Oh.
Secrets.
No, it's not that hard. It's really just avocado, cilantro, onion, tomato, garlic.
Cumin?
There's a little slight amount that I put in there.
Like
Very, very little. Yeah,
okay.
Absolutely. Just a little bit of a spark in there. And then I also do lime juice too.
That's good.
Great proportions of the ingredients.
Thank you.
All right. Well, we're going to snack on these. And
We'll be back next week.
Yes. Yeah. All right, Becky, let's do our final trivia question.
Okay. I know you guys are sad to be coming to an end of the Valentine's Day trivia.
Right? That's right. Today's Valentine's Day, isn't
Happy
it?
Valentine's Day.
Is it too late to make a reservation?
I think now you just have to cook yourself.
Can I take the rest of this bag of chips? I need it for a gift.
You're good to go. That's it.
There you go.
Take this guac, guys. You're set for
And
Valentine's
here's the
Day.
thing. If you're at home and you're making a nice meal for Valentine's Day, you got to put on some great music, right, to set the tone. What better than Motown? So I was thinking about Motown and, I'll pick out some love songs. And then I realized pretty much every single Motown song has something to do with love. So some form or fashion. So there's tons of number one songs. I think it's almost about 200 that came out of Motown that hit number one. Now that means It might be an R&B chart. It might have been the pop chart, different varieties of number ones, but still major hits just turning out. That's why it's called Hitsville. So I want to ask you, which of these was Motown's first major hit? Do You Love Me by the Contours, My Girl by the Temptations, Shop Around by Smokey Robinson and the Miracles, or Where Did Our Love Go, the Supremes?
Oof.
Which was the earliest first major hit?
Run through those again.
Do You Love Me, Contours, My Girl, Temptations, Shop Around, Smokey Robinson, Where Did Our Love Go, the Supremes?
I'm going to say Shop Around.
Okay.
I'm going to go with the Contours.
Okay. What was yours again?
Shop Around. Yeah. I love
Absolutely.
Smokey Robinson.
1960.
Wow.
When I was a
1960.
kid, so my dad was the head of WJCC radio, or not head, but one of the advertising heads there.
Yeah.
So I was a kid hanging out in the studio, and I remember this guy came in with a suit. He looked insane, and everybody was like, basically looking at him like he was the Godfather. Like this guy was the best of the best. Looks at me and gives me a little pat on the head, and I'm 3-4 years old, whatever. Had no idea who that was. Years later, come to find out that Smokey Robinson patted me on the head.
Oh,
as a child.
cool.
So Smokey, if you're listening, man, would totally like to just say hi in person one day, for real.
Yes. Now, do you know his real name?
No.
It's not Smokey?
It's not Smokey. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's Bill.
Oh, yeah, I'd go with Smokey any day of the week.
I think I'm remembering correctly. But so my personal picks, and then I want to hear yours for favorite love Motown songs for Valentine's Day. Marvin Gaye, Let's Get It On. I mean, naturally. And then Stevie Wonder, Do I Do, which not a lot of people know that song. Do you guys know?
Yeah, I know that song. Yeah.
Okay. It's got the line, I got some honeysuckle chocolate dripping kisses full of love for you.
Well, I couldn't have quoted that off the top of my head,
Yeah.
but sure.
I love that song. So what would you pick?
Motown love songs? Jeez. They're all so good. I'm going to have to pass. I can't even think of one right
that's
now.
okay.
I
There's
know
so many.
mine because it's one of my favorite songs of all time. It's also Marvin Gaye. Sexual Healing.
Oh, yeah.
Always been one of my favorite songs.
It's a good one.
That's a making love song.
Yeah, speaking
Yes.
of which, I'm pretty sure that this guacamole would get me laid.
Okay, on that theme, I have a question. How do you impress someone with food? What's the secret?
Give it to them?
For me personally,
Yeah.
well, what I like to do is obviously anytime that I'd like to impress somebody, food is involved. So whether it's we go out to eat and we try certain things and we talk about it and we eat it together, and or we go from place to place to place during an event or a date, let's say, and I want to show them, things that I've learned and would love to see if they've had similar experiences, or maybe we go to a new place together. But I think the best thing that I like to do is always cook for somebody. If I can cook for somebody, then I can show off some of the things that I've learned over the years and what I like to do, and see if they've maybe tried any of those flavors before.
Yeah.
Show off your skills.
That's good. That works.
I like to impress people by showing off my podcasting skills.
Oh, it's so sexy. Seth. Yes. Yes.
Listen to me crunch into chips on this one.
Yeah.
And we're not the only podcasters here. You are a podcaster as well, Carlos. You've got so we're going to get a little sample of yours in a bit, but you're part of this Planet Ant family of podcasts. Let's talk a little bit about what Planet Ant is and what they're doing over there in Hamtramck when it comes to podcasts.
100%. In the 90s, Ken Shelton and a couple of other guys, they bought this building and said, we're going to open up a coffee shop. And the coffee shop ran, and then the partners then decided, well, let's do a little bit more than this. And they started doing improv there. It's like a small little improv troupe theater, and it was building and building. And over the years into the 2000s, it became an organization for people here, actors and such, to be a part of the improv scene. And there was no real major improv scene here in Detroit. I mean, there was, the Go Comedy or Second City. I believe there was an arm of Second City maybe here at the time. I'm not really
Yeah,
sure.
it used to
there
be in
was.
Hockey Town.
Yeah.
I remember going. It was a novelty and a cool thing, and it was a little sad to see it go.
And now Planet Ant has grown its footprint in Hamtramck, so they not just have the Black Box, which is the original shop, but also across the street they bought that hall and they called it Ant Hall, plus the bar next to it, which is the Ghost Light. And Darren Shelton, who is the son of Ken Shelton, is now I would say he's the head nacho there. He's the big guy. He runs the whole kit and caboodle along with this amazing team of people that run all the different arms. So whether it's the independent run by independent comics like Bart Dangus or Johanna Madrada or Connor Mead, or if it's the podcast studio run by like Mike McGettigan, Jessica Cooper, Parker Hammond, a bunch of amazing people that have been able to continue lifting up these podcasters and what they've been doing, or even just the improv group, which now you can have countless people that are all part of the improv world of Planet Ant.
Yeah, you're one of them, right? You do improv also?
Yeah, that's how I started. That's how I became involved with Planet Ant, was through improv classes.
And how do you think that, we've talked a lot about this, how improv's such a great skill to have. So how does that help with your food businesses? It's
helped with everything that I do because I constantly have to be thinking on my feet. With whether it's just plotting and planning or cooking or doing any of the content things that I do, as well as you have to be quick. You have to take everything. You have to listen. Number one, listen to what's going on around you and make sure that you take that in, adapt, and then you're able to come out with something as well.
All right, well, let's sample some of the podcasts that your colleagues are doing, starting with this first one. This is Detroit Strange. I'm going to read the little description.
I've listened to this, a couple of them, yeah.
Because this is right up our alley.
Oh, yeah.
If you like this podcast, this is another one that I think you're really going to like. Do you like the ooky? How about the spooky? Are you interested in Detroit? If you answered yes to any of those, then check out Detroit Strange. Join Alex and Jess as they explore mostly factual tales about Detroit and have a few laughs along the way. This is Alex Soriano and Jessica Cooper. Let's get a little taste.
Detroit Strange.
Yeah, that's Alex.
And that's Jess.
Do you want to hear a story?
Of course.
Do you know that there is a body in Capitol Park?
I did not.
In 1837, Michigan was a new state and chose its first governor, who also happened to be the youngest governor in American history, Stevens T. Mason. So he was dubbed the quote unquote boy governor.
Okay.
They really stretched far for that nickname.
My favorite 80s band.
That hit me hard. And he basically acted as a 22-year-old governor would, throwing caution into the wind.
Okay.
You know, those young whippersnappers always throwing caution into the wind.
They throw everything into the wind. Caution,
yeah, they do.
Coffee, kites,
bagels, everything. Michigan and Ohio were fighting over the Toledo Strip. So basically the land right around the border.
Which, like, why?
Well, actually, though, it was because it's by water.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So water was everything, during the time period.
Everything, honey.
Yes, it was. But yeah, no, that's how you get things.
Yeah.
It's by the water. It's the most effective way. Roads weren't exactly like roads now.
Roads not around. Railroads deceased.
And both were claiming it as the Toledo port as theirs, basically, at the time, because it was so important. He was in office for 2 years. He renamed Catholepistemiad of University of Michigan.
Sure.
To University of Michigan and moved it to Ann Arbor.
A great move for the renaming front.
Mm-hmm. Cholera and financial panics ran rampant in 1837, and his popularity diminished with it. So he was soon voted out of office.
Because of cholera?
Well, in financial panics. I think it was more the financial panics. Cholera just also was kind of shitty at the time.
Yeah, cholera is no fun.
Yeah, I mean, from what I've heard.
It's true. Cholera, not fun.
No.
Right.
No.
No, I had it last week. It was bad.
You look great.
Yeah, you've recovered well.
So that's Detroit Strange. That's one of the podcasts over there at Planet Ant. Let's sample another one. This is the Michael Dupree Variety Hour. It's an arts showcase and comedy show. It features local musicians, painters, poets, no sculptors, apparently. I don't know what they have against sculptors. Directors, writers, improvisers, and more. It's the world's only mandatory podcast. Wait a minute.
Oh, no. No, ours is mandatory.
Yeah, we might have to send them a letter. Yeah. With off-the-wall interviews, sketches, and games. This is a high-energy podcast. Is a blast. This is the Michael Dupree Variety Hour from Planet Ant Podcasts.
We are now bringing on our next guest. He is just trying to take a nap on his hammock, and his neighbor kid just simply will not let him. Please welcome Walter Lousy.
I'm glad to be here.
Thanks so much for being on the show, Walter. You seem very tired. Your eye, you got the rings under your eyes.
Well, to be honest, I'm not great right now, Michael.
No?
I'm pissed the hell off.
Why is that?
Well, it's just that I get one day off a week, and I want to spend it on my porch, on my hammock, taking a rest, and my neighbor boy won't let me do it.
Why don't you sleep in your bed?
What do you mean, why won't I sleep in my bed? Because my wife is large and she can barely move.
Oh, that's not very nice.
Well,
Is this the truth of it?
It's just the truth of it, and I love her, and she needs her space, and so I gotta find other places with which to sleep.
And you do. You've shown me the picture of your hammock. You showed me several pictures of it before we started the podcast.
Oh, boy,
it's a nice hammock.
I love my hammock. It is my prized possession.
Yeah. Where did you get it from?
I got it from my tour of duty.
Your tour of duty?
Yes.
You're like in the military?
Yes, I was involved in the United States invasion of Trinidad and Tobago.
Oh,
Spicy.
You took the hammock from assumedly someone from Trinidad and Tobago?
It was a gift that I bought at a gift shop.
Oh, okay, good.
Yes.
Cool. You bought an entire Is it? So it is. It's one of those. I mean, yeah, I guess I know the answer to this, but you tie it to the trees. It's not one of the ones that you, just for the audience's sake, it's not one of the steel ones that you just kind of hang up. You've got two big oak trees in your yard.
My prized trees.
That's what you get when you give improvisers some microphones.
I don't know what to say, so I'm going to eat another chip.
That's the Michael Dupree Variety Hour. It's another one of those Planet Ant podcasts. They've got a ton over there too, right?
For sure. Big system of people. And everybody there is so talented.
What are the studios like?
Oh, it's interesting. It's in the back of what used to be a bar. And, padded walls. We've got a table and 2 couches and some chairs. And 2 bathrooms.
Okay. That's
so
important.
if there is going to be a podcast about people talking to each other while using the bathroom, you can do it at Planet Ant.
That's
it's
coming
good to know
next,
because
I
we
bet,
were trying to figure out what our next project was going to be. And I think that's it.
Welcome to Poo Talk, guys.
Is that where you record your podcast?
It is, not in the bathrooms.
Not in the bathrooms,
No,
but
yeah.
well,
But on the table.
sandwich talk
At
would
the
not
table.
be good. Yeah.
No.
But at the table.
Yeah.
So give us the rundown. What's Sandwich Talk all about once again?
Real simple. It's my chance to sit down with a friend from the Detroit food community or just the Detroit community in general. And we sit down over the 3 sandwiches that we get from one place. And we drink some beverages in between. We just talk about those sandwiches. We talk about what we like about them. We talk about our favorite sandwiches in general. And then we just BS about food too. Or just, we get off on tangents every once in a while,
I'm sure.
like you would.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So let's set up this clip here. What's going on in this little excerpt from the show?
So this is an episode that I did with my friend Sarah Aldridge. She is the other half of Nothing Elegant, a DJ group here in the city. And she has been doing amazing things throughout the city in the art community, the food community, the bartending community for so long. If you don't know Sarah, then you've probably seen her and you're like, oh yeah, that one.
Yeah.
She's amazing.
She goes by Lady Fantastic.
Lady Fantastic.
on
And she
Instagram.
truly is fantastic. So in this episode, I typically like to ask, what's your favorite condiment, cheese, topping, or sauce? And she said yellow mustard is her, or just mustard, I'm sorry, mustard is her favorite condiment. And then we jump into a tangent about that.
It's a true story. I wish there was some video footage of everyone's face in this room right now because it's incredible. It actually started as a mystery. Someone got me a subscription to a Mustard of the Month club. This gets funnier. And so, but it didn't have a name on it. It was just like delivered to me. It didn't say like, from Iris or David. And so
Or
I
hot dog.
randomly was getting mustard mailed to my house for months. And I was like, who is the creep sending this to me? And at the time I had a kind of a creepy neighbor. And I'm like, oh my God, what if it's like the creepy neighbor who's sending me mustard? And then like 2 or 3 months later, my sister, this is a true story. My sister was like, oh, I totally forgot to tell you at like Christmas, I got you a subscription to the Mustard of the Month Club. So it was not a creep. It was just my older sister. But a good gift, nonetheless, for a lover of mustard. I also was unaware that there were that mustards. Carlos is crying because he's laughing. So,
what's your favorite mustard? It doesn't necessarily have to be the ones that you've gotten in the mail.
I like a champagne mustard because who doesn't like champagne in their mustard or in anything really?
Yeah. I like champagne shampoo. Extra bubbles.
So that's great. Where can people find the podcast?
Anywhere you listen to podcasts. So Spotify, Google Play, Apple Music, My House. Really, it's up to you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's called Sandwich Talk.
Sandwich Talk.
While you're busy.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, we have a game that we like to play here, Carlos. I don't know if you're ready for this.
No.
We're going to ask you for a series of rapid-fire recommendations. All you have to do is tell us the first thing that comes to mind.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Starting with this, we've been talking a lot about food, but we haven't talked about any specialty food shops. Is there a specialty food shop that you like to frequent?
I love DeVries Cheese Shop in Eastern Market. They've got a whole world of cheese, and on top of that, they've got 3 floors of things that you can go do. So if you really like socks, go to the top floor, and they've got a huge variety of socks.
How about favorite bar in Detroit where you can get, you were telling me you drink tequila, mezcal. What's your favorite bar to go get those things?
My favorite bar is actually Kiesling. It's in Milwaukee Junction area near New Center. Really small, dim-lit bar. It's basically the neighborhood's Cheers. So if you're within the service industry, everybody there knows you.
It is, of course, Valentine's Day. Do you have a favorite place to go on a romantic date?
Right now, I actually just went to Mink, and Mink is beautiful. If you ever get a chance to go, they do oysters and a lot of fresh fish, and it's basically just a beautiful fresh bar seating for the most part, and it's really nice for a date. On top of that, they got sake.
Where is it?
It's in Corktown, right next to the Farmer's Hand, across from what used to be St. Cece's, what is now Lady of the House.
Yeah, I think it's all same owners, right?
So the Farmer's Hand is owned by Kiki and geez, I forgot her name. I'm so sorry. But it's owned by 2 people that run that. And then Mink is partnered now with Marrow. And Marrow is run by Ping Ho, who started that organization.
Yes, exactly. Okay. Name a Detroiter, food related or not, that we should all be following on Instagram.
Ooh, follow John Kung Food, 100%. His content is incredible because he shows you step by step what he's creating under his stories and then posts the image of what it looks like on his social.
Now, a lot of people don't know this about you, but you are a level 1 sake sommelier. First of all, do you get a belt for that, or how does that work? What is level 1?
Yeah, they gave me a toe ring.
Nice.
Oh, cool. You don't have to show us. It's fine.
It's okay.
Is there a place around town whose sake program you really recommend?
I actually just went to Mink and loved their sake selection. It was only, I think, 6 sakes on the menu, but each one of them were great.
What I don't know enough to know what I'm tasting for in a sake.
Standard sakes that you'll find are like a Junmai Ginjo or Junmai Dai Ginjo, which is typically the flavor characteristics around that are going to be a little bit more fruity, melony, pineapple-y. But if you get a sake that is a little bit more on the funky, earthy, mushroomy, wet leafy side, that's kind of what I go towards. I love funk. I look for funk. I like live foods. I like fermentation, and I like funky things. So they've done a great job in basically creating the full gamut of the flavor palette in terms of sake, just with 6 different sakes that they have there.
Wow. What's your favorite place for late night food?
There's so many. I would probably say it's still the OG classic of Dooley's Coney Island.
Okay. Yep.
Dooley's Coney Island on Verner, right across from Holy Redeemer, has been so important to my life. They have not only been the best in terms of coney and loose burger, chili cheese fries, but also they have the staples there, like a good ham and cheese sandwich and a bunch of other great stuff.
Amazing.
You were the guy to ask about food questions. I'm coming to you from now on.
I got plenty more, dude.
I know. He used to ask me all the time, but now I'm way stood up.
Carlos Parisi, thank you so much for being on the show all week. It's been fantastic to have you here. If people want to try the tortilla chips and the salsa and the guacamole, where do they go?
So Aunt Nee's tortilla chips are widely available across Michigan. You can go to Kroger tomorrow and pick up Aunt Nee's. Just ask for Aunt Nee's. Chips and salsa are available at Whole Foods. You can go to Western Market, Westbourne Market. You can go to a bunch of different stores, basically what your local farmer's market would be. On top of that, the new Woodward Corner Market that opened up in Royal Oak, they've got us as well. Bridge Street Market, their sister store out in Grand Rapids, has got us too, along with a bunch of other places up north, out in the west side of the state. The guacamole, however, you can only buy from me along with the salsa and the chips at Eastern Market on a Saturday. So if you go to Eastern Market on a Saturday, look for a guy who looks a lot like me, because chances are it is me, and you can come and check out the guacamole.
Under Shed 2.
Shed 2 in the summer, and that's from April to December, because the summer lasts that long.
Yes.
And then from January until the beginning of April, we are in Shed 5.
Shed 5,
so as soon as you walk in that door, you'll see me.
Yeah. Right. Now, quick question. Aunt Nee, who?
Aunt Nee is my business partner Pat's mom. She is Aunt Nee. She started just a dry mix packet in 2006 as a hobby, and then in 2009 her husband lost his job. It was actually 2008 into 2009, and him and I were friends in college. And he said, "Hey, listen, my dad lost his job, and the only thing that we have coming into the house right now is the money from this dry mix packet that my mom makes. Do you want to help us out with it?" And I said, of course, I would love to. So we jumped and hit the road for like 6 months, and we just beat the pavement, and we did as much as we could, and we ended up saving the family and making some house payments, and then we created a company.
Wow.
That's awesome.
That's cool. Well, Carlos, thank you so much for being here all week. Also, don't forget that you can check out really links to all the stuff that we're talking about over on our website, thedebriefdetroit.com. While you're there, if you are a musician, you're in a band, you're a singer, you can upload a song. Just submit it to us, and maybe you could be included on this podcast. Becky, it's your last chance at a love song. Let's close this out for Valentine's Day. What do you got?
I have something that is related to my Motown trivia. So if you're a Motown fan, you're going to love Apropos. He is the definition of modern Motown.
Big shouts, Apropos.
Yes, we love him. He's been on the show before, and just gangbusters, doing great things. He just hosted a tribute to Allie Willis just last weekend. And he was actually working with her in LA, writing a bunch of songs very shortly before she passed away. So they've got some things that will be coming out, songs that she wrote with him. So, but for now, we've got a song called Maybe. And it's all about, a relationship that kind of went astray and hoping you can get it back. Maybe by Apropos.
All right, we'll check it out until next time. Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Keep up.
When we spoke the last time, I was looking at the skyline. It was cold outside. I think about you often through the night, turning and tossing, but am I on your mind? There's so much distance. How do we get across? And how we ended? Oh, is it all for naught? Maybe we can move beyond what hurt us so bad. And maybe we could share a slice of the past we had. Time keeps slipping through our hands, so far away from all the plans we used to make. Holidays and don't seem to last. Are you okay? Now there's so much distance. How do we get across? And how we ended. Oh, is it all for naught? Maybe we can move beyond what hurt us so bad. And maybe we could share a slice of the past we had. Maybe, oh maybe we can you and I beyond what hurt us so bad. And maybe, oh maybe we could share a slice of the past we had. Now baby, you know it's been far too long. Every time I think about you, I just wonder, are you thinking about me? As I travel the road, meeting different women from here and there. Oh no, don't none of them compare to you, baby. So I wanna sing something for you. Can I do that? Can I? Now wait a minute. Maybe. Maybe. Oh. Maybe. Oh, maybe. Oh, we can. You and I. Oh, darling. Hey. Oh, maybe. Oh, we could. Oh, yes. Maybe. Oh, maybe. I know we can. I know. Oh, maybe. Oh, we could. Oh, yes. All in due time, baby.
The D Brief.
Your guide to Detroit's arts and entertainment scene.